Hello everyone! Recently, we've upgraded some features of the Dragon Breath ribbon system, so we decided to re-record the tutorial. First, we locate the Dragon Breath ribbon tool in 3ds Max. We open it. This is roughly what the panel layout looks like. And mainly, we've divided it into several sections. The top section is for creating sets, which allows us to quickly select ribbons in the scene. Because some characters can be very complex, with dozens of ribbons, hair, and so on. We manage them here. Alright, the section below contains the most basic parameters, such as softness and looping, things like that. Over here, this area is used to simulate breathing motion. It simulates a sign-like movement. Alright, this section controls gravity. And the section below, here, this is a newly added centrifugal force. This is inertia. Here is the angle limit. And over here are collision-related parameters. This section controls the time range. The section below that handles basic leg-driven skirt interactions. Below that are some buttons for running the simulation, deleting animation, printing parameters, baking values to bones, things like that. Alright, now let's take a look at how to actually use it. First is the set section. When we simulate bones in the scene, there are two ways. One is double-clicking to select all bones, then clicking this button to simulate starting from the selection. Let's click it. You can see the dynamics are now simulated. If there are many bones, selecting each one manually would be troublesome. So this is where sets come in. We double-click to select all bones, then click the plus button. This creates a set for us. For example, this one. Later, we can quickly select it. We can also choose this option to simulate directly from the set. I'll add another one as well. Alright, so if we have a dozen bones, we can simulate them in batches. Let's increase the softness a bit. Since there's no animation, we'll turn off breathing. Let's take a look. Now it performs batch simulation. During batch simulation, if we have, say, 10 bones, each one actually uses the same base parameters, including softness. However, they will vary slightly around that value. This is controlled by the variation parameter, if it's adjusted. Alright, that covers set creation. To delete a set, use this button. We'll delete it. Then I'll add it back. If it's the same character, used across many shots, we might create it once and reuse it in other scenes. So we have this set option, which allows us to save the required data as a template. I'll just save it with any name. After deleting it, if I open a new scene, this data won't be there because I deleted it. We can load the template here by reading it, and it quickly recreates everything. Alright, that's all for the selection set section. Now let's look at the basic parameters below. The most important parameter is softness. Softness is easy to understand. If I lower it, it becomes very stiff. For example, set it to 2. It behaves like a bamboo whip, right? Now I'll increase it, the softness, and simulate again. Let's see, now it becomes very soft. Alright, that's softness. This parameter is easy to understand. I'll set it to a reasonable value. For example, 10. So what is this curve? The curve controls the distribution of softness below here represents the root position, and the top represents the tip position. If we make it a straight line, that means softness is evenly distributed. Let's take a look. Overall, it's a relatively smooth and even distribution of softness. If we adjust it further, for example, I want this section to be softer at the tip and the root to be slightly stiffer. I can shape the curve like this, then simulate again. We can see that this section bends less, while the lower part bends more. Let's play it. Alright, that's softness. You can combine these controls. I'll increase it further. Now it's more obvious. The top is very stiff, and the bottom is much softer. Alright, I'll reset it. In games, a very important feature is looping. If we want the animation to loop seamlessly, we enable loop frames. For example, set it to 5. What does this 5 mean? It will take the last frame of the animation and copy it to the beginning with a 5-frame transition, making it look more natural. Let's test it. Alright, this is the result. The last frame looks like this, and so does the first. Let's play the whole thing. It becomes a seamless looping animation. There's another case. For example, if we want all poses to keep the first frame pose, we enable Keep First Frame Pose. For example, the first frame has a base shape. All animation is based on this. I enable looping and also keep the first frame pose, then simulate again. Let's take a look. In this case, the start and end both use the first frame pose as the final pose. Alright, the parameter below is the softness range, its variation range. This way, when we have many sets, we can use this value. For example, 5 sets. Each one's softness will get a moderate amount of random variation. Alright, that's it. Thank you.